Hello, welcome back to another one of these fucking talks. You know, I think I should start um, not scripting these, but writing more selective notes on what I want to frame some of these lives as. But I suppose let's see what I've written down. I wrote this down. People want to be chosen, but they never choose themselves. Learn to be engaged. Beginning this book, my first ever really my first time really reading Hunter S. Thompson, and his writing is very interesting. I love the title Fear and Loathing. I don't know why, it just sounds great. I don't know if you've watched the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Pretty solid movie, pretty good movie. Um, but what's brought my mind towards that book and sort of everything I'm doing right now is I'm not. I suppose the networks of journalism I'm seeing now are very fueled by like self citizen participation. Um, like this isn't bad or good. It's just what I'm noticing. Um, there's a lot more independent journalists who are getting like funded by like sort of like Patreon, which is like just a sort of like buy into the membership of early access and whatnot. Um, but why I bring this up is, I mean, Hunter S. Thompson kind of invented the Gonzo, or at least popularized the Gonzo style of journalism. But I've noted his writing is very interesting. It's very detailed, very descriptive in weird ways, and I don't. To me, what's lacking in a lot of different areas, but I mean, I'm just gonna isolate the journalistic kind of area right now is there's not really a description of narrative of storytelling. Not anyone with as a don't do it. Don't jump on that. He's gonna jump up on the fucking wall and it's gonna be bad. Anyway, no one's really using their power to be be an individual to to be to be very descriptive in the narrative or in the sorts of life they walk through. It's very like I have a platform, and I'm going to use the platform to sort of walk into these areas. And what also is interesting is the way our sort of I don't know. I guess excuse me. The way our society is set up is attention in general is very there's a certain word I'm looking for, but it's very like, on the forefront of everyone's mind now. The constant observation of the self is in an overabundant state currently, which inevitably, in my opinion, creates those sort of platforms in which you can sort of like flaunt your viewership or flaunt your attention. Whereas before, when there was like you're I guess limited to a strict sort of news network. Now it's more or less just your ability to like manipulate the scenario or environment you're walking in via the attention and the platform you have, or the potential that you're showing. The potential you're showing to the environment, your journal, you're sort of documenting and capturing, entices that environment because of the attention you have the potential of getting. Which, what I'm saying in a more simple way is, um, people are these sorts of fields are very tainted, just because of what could come from being seen online on through a camera. For instance, think about the Hawk Tua girl, randomly getting interviewed on the street by some fucking, not a journalist. He was not no journalist. He was a fucking TikToker, and he was just fucking getting, creating these, videos of content to just get views and money. And the sort of integrity that is needed for journalism, I think, is kind of being inevitably tainted and lost because of this constant gaze from this invisible hidden environment we call the internet. And I think when you take that view and put it on sort of almost every sort of existence right now, even me, right? There's no, when I talk, it's not in the sense of me, um, disregarding myself. Like I'm a part of this in its entirety. And I guess that sort of brings me back to like what is shaping our environment and our society, in which we can kind of lay out here or identify, because I think that's what is needed and necessary for the time being in this 2026 August 2026, for me and my work, which I'm feeling a sort of like reignition of myself, of my inner wealth lately, because I feel like I've got rid of some baggage. um, I'm no longer feeling like I need to, save people or bring people along. I feel like I'm just sort of doing my thing. And if you are sort of doing the thing I'm doing, let's do it together. But if I'm having to force people into this way of being, instead of like just doing it already together, I'm wasting my time. There's a difference in like, the couple times of like helping someone, who's seeking help. But when your help of structure is kind of used as their own personal fuel to fuel their fantasies, or the lies they might tell themselves, it becomes a sort of energy siphon off of you. And I'm, in a way, I think this is a cause or a direct correlation, um, to the screen, to the internet being always active. There's no time within the contents of screens and technology. There's only now, which affects, directly impacts the way we perceive reality. And when we have a machine at the forefront, or a digital instantaneous access to what I would call the global village of society, of Earth, of humanity as we know it. When you have this direct access individually, I begin to wonder, would this direct access cause a sort of awakening? Or would this direct access um, sort of push people to this state of contentment? And I think we're getting both sides of that. Um, I think what's also very interesting to me right now is I'm I'm only 21, first of all, but I guess I'm really focused on building something, creating something, a good piece of art or art in general, worlds. And there's a difference in power and world building. Power, when someone or an individual or an entity of or a group seeks power, power becomes the structure in which society is forced to mold. A world builder creates the effects in which create a sort of hidden environment that reawakens the individual into a sort of I wouldn't I don't know, it awakens the individual into a sort of state of I have the ability to do the same thing. And world building exists inside power structures because power structures are not ceasing to build worlds, they're ceasing to control worlds. Whereas the world builders are not, focused. What do you want? Do you want outside? Like I pet you all the time. World builders are not focused on power, but the effects in which they create their world draws sort of people into this powerful state of controlling the environment. And I think we're seeing a sort of battle right there in between that state. I'm gonna have to let you out. Go. Let's go. Come on. Now's not the time. Another thing that I think is happening is the sort of average person you're going to meet because, of course, everyone's individual and everyone has an ego in which they believe that they're separate, right? But in my opinion, when you speak of that sort of statement now, oh, we're all separate consciousness, or we're all separate sort of entities experiencing consciousness at the same time. We're all different aspects of the universe experiencing it at the same time. When you have people who are so fixated on combining and sort of giving their power to a structure, to a world, you become docile or desensitized to, in my opinion, the effects of someone or an entity or a group seeking power because your focus is more or less on this idealistic image rather than direct impact. Whereas power seeks direct impact, and world builders seek not the idealistic image always, but they have the image in their heads and they're focused on world building. And world building is, like I said, different from asserting and seeking power because world building has freedom inside of it because it realizes its limitations. Power sees itself as an unlimited thing. And to just sort of hit the nail on the head, think about you as a human. You need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to drink water, and then you need to kind of drain that energy and then do it again. Now, if you were unlimited in your in if humanity or natural processes were unlimited, in my opinion, we would there would be no sense of there would be a oneness, in my opinion, a sort of belief of everything is connected. If everything was truly unlimited, what I think this is getting very deep, very fast, but a limited point of view understands its place in the universe because one theory is that the universe is infinite, space is infinite. There's another theory that space is ever expanding, and I think to sort of go down a channel or down a perspective, there's people on the earth who believe gods dictate us. There's people on earth who believe like demons dictate us or entities of higher intelligences, alien, foreign, natural plant intelligences. Where, ooh, ooh. Now, if we were truly unlimited in our ability and nothing truly mattered because everything was inevitably going to have this infinite state, I think we would see and perceive reality as an entire different structure than we currently do. Whether or not that is being orchestrated, or whether or not we're born into a momentum, doesn't really matter because if you're seeking power, you immediately disregard and kill the other. Immediately. You kill it. And by killing something, you deny it. It's no longer. And when you're world building, you don't kill anything. You integrate, you adapt to circumstance. Power never adapts. Power seizes the vessel and forces things to conform to the vessel in which power is embedded in. Hmm. And I think to to further hit the point of space being unlimited or infinite, or space being this ever growing, expanding, is very different. Infinite to me is beyond comprehension. You can't comprehend it in a communicative language or a structure. But a limited world in which it is growing, not not unlimited in its expansion, not infinite, but a limited world that is growing by mere circumstance of conscious and natural behavior. I think when you have a limited world, it creates the effects in which power is like a window of opportunity into temptation of control. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I'm gonna keep riding the thought. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I might just leave it there. Carry on.